I'm here tonight to talk about a war that is being waged right now. No one's going to die, but lives are at stake, lives will be altered, because the war is for something that you have. And if you define your life as the minutes, hours, days, and years of your life, then this is something that you have that perhaps needs protecting. It is something that is so valuable, everybody wants it. Companies spend millions to get it, grab it, manipulate it. Yet we don't really seem to protect it very much. I mean, we put alarms on our homes and our cars, and we put alerts on our financial accounts. But this is something that's so valuable. In fact, it's never been more valuable, because never before have so many things been vying for our attention. Think about it. Advertisements, information, entertainment, coming at us from all different sources. Let's start with radio stations. Hundreds of them. In fact, you can create your own radio station. Television stations around the world, hundreds of them, and you don't even need to watch the show when it airs. You decide. And then there's the World Wide Web and all of the ways that we get to that. We have our desktops and our laptops and our tablets and our iPads and our Kindles and our Nooks and our Airs and our smartphones and our semi-smartphones. And then, now we have a smart watch. Think about how many things are vying for your attention from the minute you open your eyes in the morning. It's no wonder that at the end of the day we say, where did the day go?
You have a new message.
Gosh, we better wake up soon. Or we're gonna wake up dead.
Like a Jedi Knight! No, better than that. A Templar Knight. This is a flash. You are inspiration. Tip my hat to the genesis of this
It comes at us fast, doesn't it? And you would think how great, we have all these choices. We get to voluntarily choose what we pay attention to, and we'll just ignore the rest. Because there's two kinds of attention, right? There's involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary, your brain takes care of it. Your brain tells you, you see that red bird against the backdrop of the green trees, that's where your attention is going. Or the baseball that comes whizzing at your head, your brain takes care of that one for you too. You're only going to be focused on that baseball. Everything else is kind of secondary. And then there's voluntary attention, where you look at all of your choices, you decide where to prioritize them, and then you say, this is where I'm going to place my attention. So we have all these choices. It would seem that's what we should be doing. Yet how we respond to all of this doesn't seem very voluntary. In fact, it seems involuntary. In fact, it seems as if technology has control over us. Like Pavlov's dogs, we respond to the buzz or the ding or the ring or the ringtone or the screen that lights up. And we respond with such speed, like we're all emergency room doctors and seconds count. But we say that's okay because, it's not like we're giving 100% of our attention. We're just layering that into our life because we can multitask. We can multitask. We all say it. It's like a big badge. I'm a multitasker. I can do it all. But here's the thing with multitasking. You're not really focusing on two things at the exact same time. Here's what multitasking really is. You're focused on one thing. It's a part of your brain that's focused its energy there. Then you layer in something else. Another part of your brain is focused here. And then what happens is you go back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's called task switching. And it drains your brain. It is an energy suck. And if you think it is efficient, it is not. It is wildly inefficient. You think it saves you time, but it really doesn't. And then there are those who say, oh no, but I'm really good at it. Yes, surveys say the people who say, I'm really good at it, are really not very good at it at all. And all this task switching that we are all doing to our brains, we're getting more used to this and less used to focusing 100% of our attention on one thing for a long period of time. So what happens when you stop doing something or you do it less frequently? Perhaps you reduce your ability to focus, both in depth and duration. Yet we seem insistent on staying connected to these screens. These screens that give us access to the world, but also these screens that give the world access to what we have, this valuable attention. One stat says that the average American spends half of their waking hours in front of a screen. And then talk to the teenage girls, and they'll tell you it's the nighttime hours too, because they take their phones to bed with them, not on the nightstand, but under the pillow, so they can text their friends, right? And we can laugh at the teenagers, for sure. But what if I said to you right now, give me your phone? I'll give it back. Like tomorrow at 9 o'clock, would that be good? Noon? Okay. I actually did that once to a group of women at a spiritual retreat. And I said, so if we're all going to be here and we're focused and we're all in, let's focus our attention for the next hour. Let's remove any distractions. So how about we put all of our cell phones in this basket? Well, at first, as I said that, I saw blood drain from their faces. There was kind of a nervous laugh. She's not really serious, is she? And then I walked around, and it was fascinating. It was like it was a physical response, like they couldn't really drop it into the basket. And I said, it's going to be right in the back of the room. They couldn't really let go. Like it was a physical reaction. Like it was an addiction. Like they were addicted. Some studies say as high as 61% of people say that they are addicted to the technology that gets them to the internet, the technology. And then there's the content. You Candy Crush addicts. There is such a thing as social media addiction. People are being treated, and there are books written about Facebook addiction. And while that seems extreme, I know, you can see how these distractions, these things that want to grab your attention, work their way through your life. Your work life, your personal life, your home life, your work life. You're sitting at the screen, and you're focused on a very important proposal, a very important report, an important email. And then all of a sudden, bling! That email, it's saying, please open me! Please, don't you want to see what it's about? You've got mail. I don't know if those people who made that movie had any idea that we'd all be sucked into it. Right? And then, even if we don't have that, because again, we're not used to focusing for a long period of time anymore, we get stuck. And so, instead of sitting in it and saying, well, what should my next line be, or how can I reword this? We veer off and we distract ourselves. Oh, let me just check Facebook, see who got a new dog. How about Twitter? Those Kardashians. But all these distractions, they fill up our day because collectively, over the course of the day, it takes us 2 hours to get back to what we were originally focused on because we're going in all kinds of directions. And then in your personal life, the last time you were in a restaurant, did you see 2 people sitting at a table? But it's always more than 2 people sitting at a table, right? There's always something on the table. There's like a tablet or a phone. Some people have 2 phones. And you have seen this scenario, if not been part of it. Person's talking. The other person is listening intently. Zzz, zzz. And the person listening, it's about a second and a half, right? They're watching and then they go, That task switching is coming in, right? Uh-huh. 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 But if we ask that person, consciously make a choice on where you would like to place your attention for this 30 seconds on the human being who's sitting across the table from you, who will not be here in a half an hour, or checking who retweeted you, what would your answer be? And then perhaps the best illustration of how these distractions grab our attention for long spans of time, best illustration is perhaps really an illustration. A friend of mine told me that her daughter came home with a picture that was drawn of the family that they had to do at school, and she's looking over it and she says, "Sweetie, that's so good. There's you and there's your sister and there's Daddy. Oh, this is Mommy. Why is Mommy's hand so big?" "That's your cell phone, Mommy, because you always have it in your hand." The war is not against the technology. The war is not against the content. And as I sit here and tell you about all these things vying for your attention, guess what? Here's the kick in the pants. I'm one of them. I'm a television news anchor, for goodness sakes. I want you to watch all of the screens. I want you to watch the television screen. I want you to watch your laptop screen. I want you to watch us on our app. And then I want you to come to my Facebook page and my Twitter page and check my pictures on Instagram. I can sleep at night because I think that the information that I have for you is worth your attention. But the bottom line is, it's your attention. You get to choose. And so if you think for a second that you have perhaps not been guarding what is yours, what is valuable, what is strung together, your life, the good news is you can change it. And the first step in reclaiming your attention is awareness. I was talking about addiction, and they say the first step in recovery is an awareness. Become aware of how you interact with these distractions, these things that want your attention, how fast you respond. Do you involuntarily choose that over what's in front of you that you would if someone said, "Stop"? Your choice. Think about that. Set yourself up for success. If you're working on something important at your desk, turn the email alert off. You do know you can do that, right? Spending time with somebody who's important to you, unless you're waiting for something really serious. When do we all become so important? You can turn those phones off too, right? You do know where the off switch is? Put it in your pocket, not on vibrate, in your purse, not with a cute ringtone from Taylor Swift, right? You can do that. And look, we limit our kids' screen time, don't we? Could you limit your own screen time? Could you consider a digital detox? There is such a thing, digital detox. You can say a couple hours on a Saturday, step away from it all, and focus on whatever it is that's right in front of you. And then if you really want to train your brain, get back to being able to focus, get less of this and more of really focused, you can decide on something to focus on and practice meditation. And I'm not talking spiritual. Choose one thing, focus on it, and if you're like most people, in 5 minutes you'll find your brain going this way, this way, this way. As they say in yoga, no judgment, just gently bring yourself back and try to focus so that you can retrain your brain. It's a muscle just like the rest of your body. If you do it more often, you will train your brain to do that. It takes awareness, it takes time, and it takes practice. But it's your choice. You get to decide what is your attention worth, what's your life worth, what's it worth. Thank you.